F1 is heading to Azerbaijan. The majestic city of Baku is descending. It's round 17. I'll be giving my usual preview and predictions. There's also some news ahead of this weekend. Aston Martin confirmed Adrian Newey. There's the cost cap has reared its ugly head again. And finally, there's some new Papaya Rules to talk about. Let's take a look. It's a spectacular street circuit, this one, with super long straights. 20 turns, 2 DRS zones down into turn 1 and turn 3. 6 kilometre lap in total, 51 lap race. It's a 1:43.009, the lap record held by Charles Leclerc back in 2019. The downforce levels here are compromised. Do you go mid, low? It's, well, take your pick. You don't want to be a sitting duck down the straight. That's all I know. That's pretty much where the overtaking happens, but you need to put yourself in a position to make that overtake and potentially look after the tyres as well. So that's where it's a real tricky one for the engineers this weekend. Weather conditions should be sunny and dry, so that'll be no wet tyres should be on show this weekend. Tyre torque, it's the softest in the rain from Pirelli this weekend. The C3 for the hards, the C4 for the mediums, and the C5 for the softs. News: Ollie Behrman is going to take the place of Kevin Magnussen, who was, well, really harshly given a penalty, 2 penalty points for his incident with Pierre Gasly. I've talked about that in my review of the weekend last time out in Monza. It was really harsh, but it's another chance for Ollie to get behind the wheel, and, well, it's the car he'll be piloting next year, so a real good opportunity for him. It'll be interesting to see he gets a full weekend there. I've had some time to prep for it as well. Last time out we had a sprint weekend and it was dominated by Sergio, Perez, and boy could you do with a repeat of that this weekend, isn't it? He won the sprint and the race last time. Charles Leclerc took pole. It was Verstappen first and second in the race, and then, well, the safety car came out perfectly for Sergio Perez. Charles Leclerc and Perez got the jump on Max Verstappen. Perez kept the lead. Verstappen passed Leclerc. It was a Red Bull 1-2, Charles Leclerc third, and Alonso went strong last time out in 4th place. Williams and Alpine struggled. My predictions for this weekend, well, McLaren are an absolute charge. They are the class of the field at the moment, but they're throwing away race wins, and the championship battle, well, I'd say it's on with 8 races to go. However, we need Norris to really capitalise on Red Bull's dip in form at the moment, and, well, boy, do they need to make that count in the next couple of races where I think Red Bull won't be strong. Let's take a look at the predictions. Well, qualifying, I've got Charles Leclerc to take pole again after his strong showing in Monza. It's a circuit where he did a brilliant lap last time out as well to nick pole, and again I think he's got it within him. The car is nearly there, isn't it? And this circuit can be kind of like Monza, not as skinny downforce levels as we've seen in Monza where Ferrari went well, but they've kind of similar here, isn't it? And upgrades that worked for Ferrari fantastically well in the race, well, they could do the trick here, but I think Charles Leclerc has got enough to at least put it on pole, give some Ferrari fans something to cheer about. It was a brilliant win for him last time out, and I'm thinking Lando Norris in second and Carlos Sainz to show a strong showing for Ferrari in P3. For the race, though, I've got Lando Norris to take the win. I think they'll be the faster car overall. Charles Leclerc to hold on to second place, and Oscar Piastri to bring home a McLaren 1-3. A bad weekend, I'm predicting, for Red Bull. Their struggles here will continue. They've not done well in street circuits. And I think the next couple of races will be bad for him here in Singapore. They don't traditionally do well. Max struggles round Baku normally. Perez, well, this is why he's been retained, isn't it, for races like this weekend. So the pressure is really on him. But he's really getting a struggle handle on this car. So I'm predicting a bad weekend for the Red Bull. I've got a good weekend for the McLaren with a 1-3, and the Ferraris, obviously in qualifying, going well. Yeah, if they can pull off this one, it'll be brilliant for Lando Norris. He can take home the win. The championship will be wide open at this stage, and the pressure will really ramp up on Red Bull. I'm feeling there's going to be like a real explosive moment at Red Bull. It's coming. They've been simmering as a team to keep up the team together, but there's cracks been appearing all through the team over the start of this season to now, hasn't it? It's not been the smooth, well-oiled machine that we've seen from the past. Guess what happens when you have consistently championship winning teams? They do slowly fall apart, and we see a phoenix arise, as we've seen in McLaren. Let's take a quick look at the championship. Max Verstappen still leads the way. He's on 303 points. Lando Norris behind, 62 points. 241 points, the only real championship contender in my eyes. Charles Leclerc on 217 points, only 24 behind Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris. So Charles Leclerc, well, with a real outsider's chance of the championship if Red Bull continue to fall away as they have. Oscar Piastri on 197 points, 20 points behind Charles Leclerc. Carlos Sainz in 5th, 13 points behind on 184 points, and Lewis Hamilton 164 points, 20 points behind. Sergio Perez in 7th, 164 points, 20 points behind Lewis Hamilton. George Russell 128 points, 36 behind Sergio Perez. Alonso on 50 points, 78 points behind George Russell, and Lance Stroll rounds off the top 10, 24 points, 26 points behind his teammate. Let's take a quick look at the championship, where it's just 8 points between the top two. Red Bull on 446 points, McLaren on 438. The championship lead could change. McLaren could finally kick Red Bull off that top spot after 18 months. It'll be a real momentum shift in F1 if that happens this weekend. Ferrari on 407 points, not a million miles away, just 45 points off the top, so they're in with a shout on the constructors as well. Ferrari, if the upgrades they've bought and they won in Monza with, if they can really get a handle on them, could we see a three-way fight for the Constructors' Championship? Who knows? It looks like at the moment, though, it's McLaren's to lose. But yeah, just 31 points behind our Ferrari of McLaren. So a real battle happening up there. But there's a massive gap then to 4th place Mercedes. 292 points. They're 117 behind Ferrari. They are some way off in the points, aren't they, of Ferrari, who have got their act together probably at a crucial point in the season for them. Aston Martin are astronomical, 218 points behind Mercedes, 74 points in total for them. And big news at Aston Martin, finally Adrian Newey confirmed as the managing technical partner, they've called him, hasn't it? They've sort of like partnership. It's like Adrian Newey / Aston Martin collaboration going on here. By the way, they made the announcement. He's got some shares in Aston Martin also, so not really going in as an employee, which is massive. We've never seen someone with such fanfare in the technical side join the way Adrian Newey has taken to Aston Martin. It's been absolutely massive news. Fantastic for Aston Martin, disappointing for Ferrari and Lewis Hamilton fans. Adrian saying it was a choice between working with Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton, two drivers he really wanted to work with. Alonso gets his dream. The Al plan is coming together fantastically there, isn't it? He starts work there in March 25, so really quite soon actually. And Aston Martin be really hoping that they could be in for a fight for the championship in 26. He's got enough time to work on that car from when he joins. Just a quick point on the cost cap. Honda and Alpine are in breach of the cost cap. Just the admin side, they've not breached the max level. It's the engines that also manufactured that are joining or continuing with F1 for joining from 26. They now have to comply with a £110 million cost cap. They were well under that cost cap. It's just that there was some admin errors. An ABA is being agreed with both teams. It doesn't look like there'll be any sporting penalties for either of them, so maybe a small fine at most. We did see Williams, who went and agreed an ABA with them, at there's a £20,000 fine, so there may be something similar for both teams, although it looks like they're being quite lenient with the engine manufacturers. They've got an awful lot on with the big 26 changes, so we might see some lenience there. And the big one, Papaya rules are changing. McLaren have confirmed that Lando Norris will be the sole man that they will be focusing on for the championship. Lando Norris was saying though that if it's a 1-2 and Oscar Piastri is in the lead by 10 seconds, he doesn't expect Oscar to yield and give him the race win. So in that scenario, 1-2 scenario, we will see Oscar still take the lead, but what they don't want to see is where they were, like in Monza, comfortable 1 and 2 going into that second or fourth turn. The second chicane at Monza, and they gave away second place to Charles Leclerc, the eventual race winner, took the win away from McLaren. I think that's what they feel. They don't want scenarios like that. I think Lando Norris, in fact, probably could feel a bit disappointing, because when he was giving all that in the air at Hungary about this is a team game, you'll need Oscar, well, Oscar went and gave him a kick in the teeth when he needed it. Didn't need it at all, did he, in Monza? It was a comfortable 1-2 for McLaren and they shot themselves in the foot. So I'm kind of not surprised this has come about. Lando Norris has probably used that to get this kind of team order in place, but I think when it's not for a race win, and kind of what they should have done in Monza is actually give Norris that second place, switch teams in that scenario, and give Max and Norris all the opportunity to fight Max in the championship. It's clear now that they are gunning for both drivers and constructors championship. It finally feels like they believe it's on, they can do it. Definitely in the constructors, but more importantly, like for the team, I think to win the drivers is massive. I know it's all about the money for the constructors, and that's the big deal for the team, but for us fans, the drivers championship is the ultimate glory, isn't it? It's where what we all look at. Let's be honest, nobody really cares massively of where the constructors finished, even if they win it. It's big, don't get me wrong, but you know, you want, if Max wins the title and Red Bull don't win the Constructors' Championship, you're not too disappointed as a fan of Red Bull, as long as a Red Bull driver wins it and it's your driver in Max. I'm sure you'll be over the moon. So yeah, finally we've seen new Papaya Rules updated. Lando Norris will be effectively the number one for the rest of this season, given he's the, let's be honest, the only guy to give Max Verstappen squeaky bum time, as Sir Alex Ferguson used to say, you know, in the championship. Give him something to fear a little bit of losing his drivers' championship. I've watched a podcast with FFS, if you watch it, Eddie John and DC, and conveniently after Monza they had Mark Webber, the manager of Oscar Piastri, on, who was looking a little bit sheepish when David Coulthard and Eddie Georgian were talking about Oscar Piastri is potentially still on for a world title. He's only 40 odd points behind Lando Norris. I don't think it's too early to call team orders yet. I think DC and Mark Webber have both felt the brunt of having team orders called on them. So two guys with experience of exactly know how it feels, and they probably both associated with McLaren, DC as well, and Mark Webber with his man Oscar doesn't want him to have the pain that they both have suffered, clearly, but I think he knew this was coming when he looked at it. He looked a bit sheepish when they were talking about that. Probably appreciated the sport, but understood this was coming. There's only one real man in with a chance to win the championship against Max Verstappen, and that's Lando Norris. And yes, McLaren now with 8 races to go, 7 after this one, they have to put all their eggs in one basket to give themselves the ultimate chance of winning. They can't be doing what they did in Monza and throwing away what should have been a comfortable 1-2. They clearly had the fastest car and have done for some time. For the last 6 races, they probably should have won every single one. They haven't done. And this is when we say Max Verstappen, a fantastic driver. He's won races this year he shouldn't have. Canada won, Spain another. Imola, he held off Lando Norris. I think he had enough in his bag at that time, but a couple of races he's won and went on a bit of a run in that, early point where this kept himself in control of the championship still, despite the car that they've had and the bad run they've had. 6 races now on the bounce without a win, and to comfortably keep hold of the Drivers' Championship. Yes, it appears under threat. It's still a long shot, but it's possible, and it's only possible in the hands of Lando Norris. So good choice, McLaren, I think, on that one. But there we have it, all set for Azerbaijan, Baku. It should be another fantastic weekend. It has been, F1 has just been absolutely booming. We've had fantastic racing, anything can happen, and I cannot wait for the action to get going this weekend. It's a normal race weekend, FP1 and 2 on Friday, qualifying FP3 Saturday, and the race on Sunday. No sprint weekend this time out. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and comment. As always, see you next time.